Peace. Ali coming back at you with another video. In this video, we're going to get into some different things dealing with the third eye, or what is called the pineal gland. The third eye, if you're not familiar with it, and a lot of people are becoming more aware that we have a third eye. But the third eye is simply the pineal gland, which is in your brain. But that's technically a misnomer also, because it's outside the blood-brain barrier, which makes it not anatomically part of the brain. But for simplistic sake, we'll just say that it is part of the brain, because most people associate the third eye with the brain. But it is in the middle of your brain. And what it does, like every physical thing or organ in the body, it has a physical component, and then it has a spiritual component. So on a physical level, the pineal gland produces what is called serotonin. And serotonin is the chemical that makes you be awake, that makes you be up, aware, alert. And in fact, serotonin is called the hormone of happiness, because it has a lot to do with your mood. And when people are depressed, they give them what are called serotonin reuptakes, which is very unnatural. I really don't recommend it, but I'm not your doctor. You have to make your own decision. But I would suggest that you consult with a holistic practitioner, someone who is versed in herbs and different modalities of treatment that deals more in a traditional base, based off the makeup of the physical body, so we keep it natural. But I digress. But the serotonin, the chemical, is produced during the day. But when you go to sleep, and think about when you're getting ready for sleep, there's a certain reaction that happens within your system that lets you know that, hey, I'm sleepy. Well, the pineal gland converts the serotonin by way of an enzyme transfer, where it converts it over to melatonin. And melatonin is the hormone that makes you drowsy. That's why it's called the hormone of darkness, because it makes you drowsy. And to go on a deeper level, and the subject matter is more expansive than this video will allow, but this melatonin also converts to what is called DMT, or dimethyltryptamine. And that is the part where, when you're dreaming, that DMT is kicking in. People that have near-death experiences, the DMT kicks in, because it's the release of the soul from the human body, spinning out through the pineal gland. When you come out of the body during death, we come out during the pineal gland, and the pineal produces this DMT. But on a physical level, when you're not transitioning, you can have experiences with DMT. And a lot of people are going to South America now and taking what is called ayahuasca. Ayahuasca has DMT in it, because DMT is found all throughout Mother Nature, from the grass, from the plants, and all these different natural sources have DMT in it. So the shamans deal with the ayahuasca, because most shamans and healers do a different combination of herbs in order to produce a certain psychedelic effect. And ayahuasca is one of them. And a lot of people, even in the West, are going down to South America and having an ayahuasca experience. And when they get into this state, and this is somewhere I didn't really want to take the video, but it's kind of like a video for another place, but it's a reason why we're getting into it. But when the people are having these experiences on ayahuasca, what it does is it brings them outside of their body and into the greater aspects of their mind. And they start to deal with either extraterrestrials, different beings. It could be angelic or ancestors, different geometric patterns, different shapes, different sounds, different smells, different colors, all these different things that are part of this reality. But we're dealing with dimensions, and we're focused on what is called 3D or third dimension, but there are other dimensions that intersect with this reality. But based off our physical retina and a light spectrum, we can't pierce the veil, so to speak, to see into other different realities. But when we come out the body during sleep, or when we have these different psychedelic experiences, our third eye becomes alive, because as DMT is being released, and we're starting to have these experiences where we can see past 3D. And that's what the capacity of the third eye is. So the third eye is extremely mystical, and the mystics and the shamans and the different priests and the different indigenous cultures have all paid homage to the third eye as far as its mystical qualities. But what I feel like that gets overlooked is just the regular components when we talk about the third eye. Because simply put, third eye is the gateway between the physical and spiritual. Because we always talk about thoughts or things. Well, thought can be looked at as spiritual, and the thing is obviously physical. Well, what the gate that separates the thought from things is the pineal gland. Because the pineal gland, like I said, produces serotonin, which is during the day, and then with the pineal being light sensitive, when there's darkness, it starts to convert that serotonin over to melatonin. So we have the daytime chemical and we have the nighttime chemical. So we have something that deals with the day and the night, or the light and the dark. And when we look into our physical reality now, we have the sun that provides us with light, and the moon is exposed when it is dark. So there's no coincidence that serotonin starts with an S like the sun, and melatonin starts with an M like the moon. And on a deeper plus degree on everything like that, melatonin is really melanin. But the people that discovered melatonin, so-called discovered, they didn't want the general populace to know the connection between melanin and the pineal gland. But there is a definite deep connection between melanin and the pineal gland. Because when we look at as above, so below, we look at dark matter and dark energy in the cosmos, which is nothing but the empty space, quote unquote, that keeps the fabric of reality together and keeps everything contrasting and expanding. It's the fabric that keeps everything connected. Well, when we look on a physical level, this is the same thing melanin does, because melanin, like most people know, is an adaptogen. And only an adaptogen is something that can react to its circumstances. So in a sense, it keeps everything together. It's able to adapt. So melatonin is a combination of the word melanin and serotonin. So they gave it the name melatonin. Because when they took the pineal glands out of the early test animals, they noticed that the skin started to lighten up. Because the pineal gland has a direct correlation between skin pigmentation and skin or colors within all the organs. Because melanin is not just on the epidermis or the skin, it's also in all the organs and all throughout your body. As above, so below, as within, so as without. So the pineal gland, like I said, has so many different components, and we're going to start to break this down. But I wanted to do a sort of an introductory video to let people know about the pineal gland or the third eye. But there's going to be a lot more information on this channel. But what I want to end you with is just know that your third eye is always working. We talk about the third eye becoming activated or open, but if you just clicked on this video, that shows that your third eye is open, because that is the physical vessel where thought, which is really not in you, is outside of you or above you, comes into play. It's through the third eye. So if you thought about clicking a video, which you had to think about it, either subconsciously or consciously, you've arrived to this point where you're listening to this. So your third eye is already working, or you wouldn't have thought. You see what I'm saying? So your third eye is working, but there's different levels to working with the third eye. At first, you may notice that you start to have clearer thoughts or better ideals, and then you may start to hear things, or you may begin to have open eye visions, or you may be downloaded pockets of information that you previously did not know. All kinds of different levels when we talk about the third eye and working with it. But I think it's very important to know that your third eye on one level or another is already operating. So this has been Ali. Make sure to subscribe, share, and comment if you like in the comment section. All the links to everything that we have going on from the website, thirdeyeactivation.com, the radio show Mind Right Radio, my Facebook, Twitter. All the links can be found below in the description section. And until next time, peace.